welcome back to another episode of the Jagged Edge, number 91 for us. Coming at you here at the start of March. It's in here along with Chris.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, hefty news week.
Yes, lots of stuff.
Yeah, we were just talking a bit beforehand. And, you know, for once, it's not just hefty for gaming only or just movies and Netflix and stuff. All around. Just good. More nerddom means more for us to talk about.
Strap in and grab your favorite drink, and Ian and I will tell you some stories.
Hey, what was that segment we cut out? Was it I think we only had it once. Was Uncle Chris's corner?
Oh yeah. For a while there, I was telling people about the Punisher War Machine.
I see.
Yeah, sit around and Uncle Chris will tell you a fable about the crazy homicidal man who got an Iron Man suit. Really good story. It didn't end all that great, though.
Right. Yeah, you're telling me about the wind down up, but the start of it was just crazy. Like,
oh yeah,
all your dreams come at once.
I mean, yeah, that is like nightmare fuel and dream fuel at the same time.
Yes.
Tell me about what would happen if the Punisher got an Iron Man suit, not just an Iron Man suit, but the War Machine suit. Let's go down that road for a while. No, it was good until the end. The end was kind of.
Oh man. Crazy. Well, hey,
I told Netflix, this is what you need to do.
You did.
No, but what they do instead, they canceled it.
Put it in the can, have it with Thanksgiving dinner. Leave it at that.
Netflix never listens to me.
No, they don't. They're not listening to you. Oh man. Well, hey, maybe you'll see it on Freeform. No, you won't. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
That won't happen at all. No. Hey, right at the top of our list here's one you're not too interested in, but I'm down with checking out. This is, we got a second trailer for Hellboy, the relaunch, effectively pretty much the reboot for this. This is going to hit theaters April 12th, still coming out. Yeah, sure, fun.
Red Band trailer. Now, let me say this, Ian. I did not like that first trailer. I watched that, and I didn't, I'm not coming from the perspective of, oh, well, the other one with Ron Perlman was so good, and that's what I want. Because it was good. The other two Hellboys were very good. I wish they would have been able to complete that, but they did. You got a reboot here. I did not like that trailer. I thought it was crap. This was good.
Oh, you dug it.
I liked it. Look, you give me a Red Band trailer, and there's some really good blood and guts in here. But besides that aside, there's actually some really compelling elements here for a story.
Yeah. No,
not just trying to tell stupid jokes, which is what the other trailer was trying to do, and it's like, we're not here for comedy.
How'd you like?
Well, not completely. We're not here completely for comedy, but I thought the feel was wrong. But I'm liking it.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, I'm digging the feel for this though, so I might be back on board for this.
There's a couple. That's good. It's cool hearing that. There's a couple important things that I definitely want to say about this one. First of all, I was thinking of you when I saw this. How did you like the Nazis with 3D glasses?
I would assume that is a character from the comics, because otherwise, why would they do that?
Exactly. Just I don't know. Just the aesthetic about that kind of made me chuckle a second. But now, I'm coming from a perspective. I don't have the comic background behind.
I don't either
for Hellboy. So, but I just kind of smirked at
Most people don't, though. I mean, most people know that Hellboy was a comic, and I'm sure that there are diehard fans that are either praising or ready to take the pitchforks to this new version.
Right.
It's kind of funny because the first two Hellboy movies kind of, I don't want to say transcended the comics, because I don't think that's the case. Now, Hellboy is no longer a comic. It's done.
Right.
Its entire run is over. But a lot of people really enjoyed it, especially the second one. Of course, you had Del Toro directing it, and so the second Hellboy was an absolute masterpiece visually.
Right.
I mean, this is fine. Hellboy with his horns and a flaming sword, riding a dragon.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I say, come on, you got to be down with that.
Yeah. I can definitely appreciate that visual and hope it goes somewhere good. Yeah, hey, this is fine. Nazis with 3D glasses, sure. Give me a good reason, or not, but just don't make a big thing out of it if you're not going to give me a good reason.
There's some other elements here that were kind of Sin City-esque. I don't know if this is going to carry out throughout the whole film, but I think it was about look at about the 103 mark. There's some really good visuals here. I've always loved that play on having one character, one central figure, or some object animated fully colored, the rest kind of like a drab, dried out, like less vibrant background. Stuff like that is cool. You can overuse that real easy, but there's a couple of really good shots there that I dig.
No, I got to go to 103 because I didn't have it open. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, that all works.
Yeah.
It's nice to see what's her name doing something besides Resident Evil too.
It is Mila Jo.
Yeah, that's right, Mila Jovovich.
Man, I was happy to see her. She's besides I think the only other thing I remembered her recently, and besides Resident Evil, was Ultraviolet. A lot of people skipped over that one.
Ultraviolet's not a very good movie, but a fun little flick. Of course, The Fifth Element. I think that was her first movie.
Of course.
And also one of those actresses who has apparently signed a deal with the devil because she does not age.
She doesn't. She's got powers or something.
She is no earlier than her late 30s at this point. But I would actually assume her early to mid 40s, and she looks the same way she did when she did Fifth Element.
It's crazy. Actresses like her and Charlize Theron pulls this off pretty well too. So
yeah, good
stuff.
Yeah, so we'll see. What we got, a month and a half, kind of, a little bit less than that. Yeah. All right, Hellboy. Good. I'm definitely feeling better about it.
Good. I'm glad to hear we might have a 2-man review after all. So what do you know? Now either one of us, I don't think I'm going to wager neither one of us have been moved in this one.
I think I'm going to actually be wrong when I predicted that this will actually come out in theaters. I'm surprised because it looks like a pretty finished product at this point.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I feel like I'll be seeing it mostly to say goodbye.
Yeah. This has sort of been the long goodbye. This was the goodbye I was ready to sign as an X-Men fan with Logan. Cool.
Yeah.
That right there would have been the perfect full stop, but we're still I guess we have to give the eulogy here.
X-Men Dark Phoenix, the search for more money.
The search for more money.
Which isn't even their search anymore. I'm surprised Disney's going to go forward with this. Maybe it was contractually obligated. I don't know.
It could have been. I did see, by the way, on Twitter, I did see a pretty fun shot come out of this. It was Ian McKellen, Fassbender, and also Sir Patrick Stewart, along with, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on a name. McAvoy.
Oh, sure.
All of them were together. You had the two Professor X's doing
were they both bald?
No.
Oh,
that would have been perfect. But you had both Professor X's doing kind of like the telepathy motion, and then you had both Magnetos doing the force choke. It was cool. It just made me smile. So, but this is still set for summer, coming out of 20th Century Fox, June 7th to be specific. Man, I'm ready. I'm ready for X-Men to really, truly restart. Truly.
Yeah. I don't care if I don't even see it for a few years. I don't know. I think for me, it's kind of weird because I mean, you've been following this Magneto and this Professor X and Beast, and it looks like Quicksilver's coming back too.
Yep.
But for most of these characters that I should care a lot about, I just don't.
Right.
The most I've cared about these X-Men was the cameo they did in Deadpool 2, which was hilarious.
It was hilarious. It was perfect.
I was like, why don't I ever see any other X-Men? And then you see them shut the door before he notices them. That was great. But I don't know. And something about the actress, and it's my understanding the actress who plays Jean Grey is a very good actress.
Yeah.
But she just looks wrong for Jean Grey. Am I wrong on that?
I see her, and I honestly would think someone like Kitty Pryde first in the X-Men series or something instead of Jean. And maybe that's because it could be maybe I'm a 90s kid that came up on the X-Men comics with the whole Jean and Cyclops story arcs, the Jean with the huge flowing red hair. I don't know. I think from those early days that sort of changed my conception of it. And that doesn't cut into her acting ability at all by any means, but we're just talking about just the Jean Grey look. So
yeah. Now, well, and of course you have Mystique in here again, played by Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
Who they're more than hinting is going to get killed,
right,
at least halfway to early on. Interesting about that because they finally toned down the makeup for whoever has to play Mystique to an tolerable level.
Right.
And of course, everyone who's played Mystique has told you, yeah, this makeup sucks.
Yeah.
And she looks the most like she's ever looked from the comics.
That's the funny part about it. You're right.
Right.
You're right.
And now she's whatever. Yeah. I mean, what do you say? They're so far beyond shit fucked on the storyline. So I don't really know what to say.
Which is an unfortunate thing to have something an arc this epic, because bear in mind that the Dark Phoenix saga, I think back to the animated series, X-Men in the 90s, that was one of the most hype arcs. I loved reading. It's one
of the most hyped arcs in comics.
Period. You're right. I love reading about this one too. It was such a pivotal point, for X-Men and everything. Period. And this is our second crack at it, and it just didn't bring the same volume to big screen.
So we'll see it. It looks like it's going to actually come out. I'm still not sure about New Mutants, which I think is set for August, something like that.
Right.
That thing has been pushed back so much and redone and so many I don't even know. But all right. Well, I'm sure we'll see this. Mm-hmm. I almost feel like it's like I'm going because I have to. Like it's homework.
Right.
We try in the channel's current state. We tend to focus on things that we want to do, but. Right. I mean, do you really want to see this? Like, if we weren't going to do this for the channel, would you see this, or would this be a rental?
This would be a rental for me.
Yeah, and it'll be curious to see. It's for that. It's for the channel side of curiosity. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's all. I guess it is to say goodbye.
It is.
Bye, Fox X-Men. It was good to know you sometimes. You were good at some parties. At other parties, you were the drag. So
we'll see you later.
And we won't.
We won't. Not this one. No.
This is not goodbye. This is not see you later. This is goodbye. Go away. Go away. just go away.
Full stop.
Take a nice long break. Get yourself ready, MCU. You're about to open up a whole can of worms.
Yeah, here we go.
Big ass can of worms. Take your time, get it right, make it all kinds of multifaceted with different outlets, movies, TVs, web shows. Just to cover, because you got a lot of X kids to cover.
Right.
You got a lot of kids to cover. The thing they could do with this, they could do whole phases just with X-Men.
They could. Easy.
Whole things. And so just take your time, and we'll see Dark Phoenix again in 2 years. For the MCU version.
The material's all there for it, man. So
yeah,
sweet. All right, our third in our trailer list was Pokemon Detective Pikachu Trailer 2. This is going to be out in theaters May 10th. We got more of a look into all of this and all the different Pokemon in the world, from Charizard to everything. For the most part, this is sticking to what a lot of people I think are familiar with from original Pokemon, like Red and Blue and everything. Pokemon's gone so far since I could not tell you what's up now. I got no idea what all this stuff is. I just remember the original 150, but they had some real throwbacks here. I think seeing Mewtwo wasn't one. Mewtwo, yeah.
Mewtwo, your Pokemon.
You think? Oh, that's actually you see. Oh, you sounded just like Mew there.
I don't know what I was sounding like. I don't have the urge to collect them all. I don't have one.
You never wanted to catch them all, did you?
I've never wanted to catch one of them. I've never had a Pokemon card. The only time I've had a Pokemon card in my hands is when my niece or nephew are like, look at this, Uncle Chris. They throw it away.
Look. Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's. But you know what? This movie looks like fun.
It actually does. I was just about to comment.
I don't know what sorcery they have going on over there, but you have me interested in wanting to see a Pokemon movie. I don't know how you did that, because I've gone decades without wanting a Pokemon anything. But I want to see this movie. Now we'll see how long that lasts, because I may get into the theater and 30 minutes in I may want to leave because I've heard too many Pika Pikas. So that little lightning thing makes me want to strangle a kitten or a Pikachu or whatever. Who's Harry?
He's not from, as far as I know, he's not from the original series. So in the original series, it was all about Ash Ketchum.
Okay, so Harry's not the kid.
Right.
Because that's how, what you learn in this new trailer is that it's all about Harry's missing or faked his death, or you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the way I'm looking at all this is I'm not really taking anything besides some of the Pokemon I'm familiar with in the original game. This is,
yeah, but everybody knows Pikachu.
No, of course, but story-wise, this is something completely in and of itself. I don't think, unless someone out there correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this is borrowing from any Pokemon game or anything like that for the the base storyline. All the elements.
Quite honestly, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. All the elements though. That's all there. That's all present, of course.
I mean, quite honestly, watching these, I think 99% of my interest in this is Ryan Reynolds playing
Pikachu. Yeah.
I think if that was not that voice, and he was not, because you can even hear the sly, I'm here to kind of draw in other people besides kids and their parents to watch this movie. He's doing it well. You can hear it in his tone, and it's like, maybe this could, because I'm really, in just the fact that he's portraying Pikachu is intriguing to me, to the point. I think it's funny because when we tackle one of these, be it a TV show or a movie that I don't, I know there's obviously history to the franchise, but I don't know it.
Right.
It's an interesting perspective, but this is I've typically railed against Pokemon in the past.
Yeah, you have.
So this is kind of funny. This one's got me, and I feel a little dirty about it. But whatever. You get me, you get me. So now, if he actually has a Deadpool reference in there, that would be great. But I seriously doubt it.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, but Detective Pikachu. I remember when I first saw the announcement for this, I'm like, whatever, I will never watch this movie. Here I am.
There you go. You never know. You never know. I think the thing I had chuckled most about it, I think it's one of the top comments of this that summed things up accurately. Someone was saying, a swearing Pikachu that sounds like Deadpool and wears a detective hat. Never thought cinema would go this way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like I said, sorcery over there.
Yeah, it is. It is.
This is crazy.
Major hacks. All right, delving on into DC, we've got some comments here. This is about the DCU, the future of DC movements. This was from Warner Brothers Entertainment. This is from the CEO. Oh, see if I can get this. Kevin Tsujihara. Wasn't as bad as I thought. Kevin Tsujihara, he spoke with the LA Times just last week, shed a bit of light on just what's happening with all this. So I'm going to take a quote from him. He was saying, the upcoming slate with Shazam, Joker, Wonder Woman 1984, and Birds of Prey feels like we're on the right track. We have the right people in the right jobs working it. The universe isn't as connected as we thought it was going to be 5 years ago. Yeah, that's an understatement, right? Yeah. You're seeing much more focus on individual experiences around individual characters. That's not to say we won't at some point come back to that notion of a more connected universe, but it feels like that's the right strategy for us right now.
I mean, he's one step away from telling the truth.
He is.
But he's not. I don't think he's as far removed as he needed to be.
Right.
Basically, he's saying, hey, look, we saw that the individual stories are actually making money, so let's do that.
Right.
What he's missing, and I guess we'll see. I could be wrong on this. I don't think I am. But what he's missing is that, these individual movies did well because they were connected to a larger universe. And this is where WB just hasn't gotten it. And you can see this in the 5 DCEU films, is that they tried having these things too connected.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, actually, out of the few things it got right, was it had a perfect cameo for Batman.
Right.
And his entanglement into that story, that's how that should work. You don't start your universe Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Or what is that?
No.
Yeah, that's not how you do it. You build it up for you let these characters have all the arm room they need tell their stories in their individual movies, and then you also have interconnected movies.
Yep.
And for some reason, WB they've not grasped onto this, and now they're gone the complete opposite way. It's like, yeah, let's tell individual stories. Those are doing well. Well, part of the reason why they're doing well is because they think that's part of a greater story.
Right.
But it's not. And we'll see how long they continue to do well when people realize that. Because I think that matters to people. People are learning to become invested in these superhero movies because they think it's part of a larger narrative.
Absolutely.
And we'll see what happens when they start to realize, oh, it's not. I don't think they'll do as well. I think movies, I think Wonder Man would have been fine on its own. Aquaman, I don't think would have sold had it not been I guess technically it still is.
Yeah.
But, people think that they're going to continue the narrative, and they want to support, they want to support the DC movies.
Sure.
I want to support the DC movies. I'll also rail on them when they're shit, but, I'm sorry, there's more comments here, but from that first one, so he's basically saying, this is making us more money and it's easier, so we're going to do this now.
Right. No, I think your starting point in that of one step removed from the full truth that we all know. That's about where we're sitting with this here. So yeah, just to hear some of this in public forum, just to at least get some kind of
good
indication.
To hear it confirmed.
Yeah, it is. It is. So shed some light there. Also, there are a couple other comments here I want to roll with. When he was asked about the two biggest heroes, look. You can't do DC without Batman and Superman, some form or one or the other. Here's what he had to say about those. So this is another quote. What Patty Jenkins did on Wonder Woman illustrated to us what you could do with these characters who are not Batman and Superman. Obviously, we want to get those two in the right place, and we want strong movies around Batman and Superman, but Aquaman is a perfect example of what we can do. They're each unique, and the tone's different in each movie.
I mean, at its face, that's correct.
Right.
That's correct, and you should be doing them all that way. And the problem is that you didn't.
Right.
That was the problem. You introduced Batman into this world going up against Superman. I don't think they're necessarily wrong for saying, hey, these characters have been around for decades. People know who they are. That's true, and you could have gotten away with it. But the build-up was what was wrong.
It is, and it's important to note, it's part of that build-up. I think the sin in this case didn't lie in skipping the origin story for the most part. That's fine. I think just the whole basics with Bruce Wayne and all that. Look, people know that side of Batman, but as you said, the build in large to how he connects with all of this is the important part. I think what felt so disjointed was I almost felt like I was watching two plans, both of which.
Oh, that movie was just a mess.
Yeah, I felt I was watching two sort of unfinished plans side by side. On the one hand, you had the narrative going forward with Batman thrust in this world. Superman is really the first major opponent, but then you have these flashes, these cuts in time of a future where Superman is run amok, the world is a mess, he's a tyrant, and everything like that. It almost feels like that's a line they wanted to pursue, or like they hinted at, but sort of cut things short on it. It
was too much. It was way too much. I mean, you're already introducing Batman while continuing with Superman and introducing Wonder Woman and Lex Luthor in this movie. Yeah, there was way too much going on there. I mean, and remember the cameos that were video files?
Oh gosh,
that had the logos done and everything.
Yep.
I'm not trying to rail on that movie, but it's just the only thing that he's not saying here that's truthful is that what I've been saying, which is that he should just be saying, well, look, we understand that a lot of the money that we're getting is because people think that this is all part of one big world, and we're going to sort of ride that gravy train until people realize it's not.
The investment I think fans look for these days in movies, it's funny. There's almost like a parallel I can see with gaming. A lot of times with not just MMOs, but ARPGs and other games like that. I think people like the idea of, I pick this up, I'm going to have some form of update, or I will have some content for the next X years. That this isn't going to be a I play this 6 hours and I'm completely done. That idea of investment, I think, echoes across a lot of entertainment today. I mean, name a medium, and you have it there. That's for people, I think, wanting that sustained experience like that. And well, I mean, for movies, I mean, can you blame us? I mean, look at the kind of conditioning we're getting with Marvel stuff.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy, and there's. I mean, you know, when they announced this at last year's Comic-Con that they were going to start making movies outside of the DCEU, which, by the way, they talked about it much differently than they are now, and which is your number one tell that they know exactly what they're doing when they're kind of dragging the fans along here. You know, fine, I guess. I'm not, you know, at first I wasn't. I don't know, man. I don't know how much interest I have in these individual movies.
Right.
I guess that's where I'm at with it, is because this has been a really cool trip that we've been taking with Marvel for the last 10 years.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
And the thing that everybody got so excited about when DC said we're going to start doing this is because they want to go down this same kind of ride with different characters. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I could be totally wrong. I mean, these movies, they could do well, but I have a feeling that they're just going to make less and less money as time goes on, because it's going to get out. I just think that most people aren't aware that, you're not, I mean, some people still think that, when are we going to see Superman with the Avengers? All right, Lee, have a seat. We have to have a conversation about this. But there's a minority of people who still think stuff like that's going to happen.
No.
But for the most part, most people are aware of the differences between DC and Marvel. But I don't think the majority is even aware that DC is not connected to itself anymore. And I think we'll see degrading results as time goes on, because I think a lot of people want to see that.
Yeah.
And I have to wonder at this point if WB is just going to be like, all right, well, once they start catching on to that, then we'll connect them all up, and you'll see and because they didn't get the contracts right, we'll see half of a group show up in another movie. It's just I have a feeling this is all going to end up in disaster. But in all honesty, WB is probably going to make a lot of money along the way.
They will.
So,
I think that the context here is right. What you're hearing. I mean, stuff like this is an example of stuff we can do. This is where we are right now. This works for the moment. This is for the short game. Yeah. For that cast, I think they will cash out well, but that could potentially be a time bomb.
Yeah, that's my worry. And no one said after Justice League. Well, let me rephrase. Just about everybody still wanted to see this continue. They wanted to see them fix it, but they wanted to see it continue.
Yeah.
And there were a handful of people who were saying you should just stop. And I think a lot of people were saying, look, if you can't get this right, you should stop.
Right.
But yeah, I don't. All right. And it should be no surprise what our next story is. And the one after.
Oh no, yeah. Keeping right along these lines, rolling right into things. We've talked about this here before, and it just cannot seem to find solid ground. That is the Flash movie. It has another rewrite and a new producer. Good Lord!
This is legitimately the fourth or fifth one now. I think what's his name? Elza Miller. Yeah, he's still on for the Flash, but this is getting redone.
Or Ezra Miller, my bad.
Again, Ezra, thank you. But this is getting redone again. And I guess that's not too surprising, because they're probably like, okay, well, let's make a different kind of Flash movie now that's not connected.
Right.
And if you're going to go that route, give your TV Flash a movie.
At this point, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's had so many crossovers with, Arrows and Supergirl, and yeah. Why not?
Just do a whole. Well, maybe they won't do that now. Following that train of thought, because then your TV show movie will outshine all your other movies.
Right.
I guess they can't have that egg on their face. I don't think. Whatever. I mean, the Flash is fun. If you do him right, he's a lot of fun. Flash is great. Just do it already.
Yeah.
Pick up hope, go with it.
Man, the script itself gets another rewrite. The film's now being produced by Michael Disco. He's a New Line Studio vet. Recently, he started his own production company. They got contract with New Line. It's going to be to develop at least 2 films. The Flash is going to be one of them. So, there you have it. Man,
in the hands of a brand new producer.
Let's hope this is the last time this gets passed. Because my gosh, man.
Do something. Just do something. I mean, I'd like to watch a Flash movie.
Sure.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Sure. Ditto.
I would prefer it be connected to a larger shared universe, but
yep.
I guess.
Good luck with that. At least for now. So.
Yeah.
Oh man. Also, along the lines of DC here, Will Smith is not going to be coming back for the next Suicide Squad movie. This was a report from Variety just this week. He's not going to return to play Deadshot. This actually falls right in line with some recent reports that the next film is not going to be a sequel. Instead, it's going to be a standalone film from the DCEU. Will Smith's departure, it's due to scheduling issues, all that stuff, might be a reason for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. When I was looking into this, was that maybe the Suicide Squad is going to be a standalone, not a sequel, because they can't get Will Smith back.
Yeah. Because, I mean, let's face it, as far as him, the really central role that he had in that, and if you try to continue that on, that's just going to be flat out awkward. So, oh well.
I have I don't want to say zero interest. The fact that James Gunn is making this movie has me interested.
That should make you instantly perk up.
But besides that, I don't care about the Suicide Squad. I didn't actually go see that movie in the theaters.
I didn't either.
So I don't. All right. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. High five. Oh man. So that as far as DC though, that's pretty much our at least our current scope of what we're looking at there. So we know stuff's in the works. I think out of all of it, everything I'm hearing here, what's going to theaters, I'm still going to go check out next Wonder Woman movie theaters.
I will stick by what I said that one's going to jump the shark.
Yeah, fair enough. So, cool. We'll see where it goes. Last but not least, the last 2 things we got here for our movie roundup. Now, this is fun. This is coming right out of the old school era here.
More 80s stuff.
More 80s. Man, I still got a pile of torn up shirts from last week.
Oh yeah, were you practicing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Brother. Were you eating your? I almost said eat your prayers and
eat
say your vitamins.
Yeah.
Did you eat your prayers and say your vitamins, brother?
You should have put that on an AC pass. Use that as a sig. That would have been good. I don't know.
But yeah, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. This is like a lot of fun. And these weren't even on my radar till Chris brought it up. The first of which, there's a Grenlins prequel, and it's not a live action. This is an animated show. It's on the way.
Yeah.
Also, a report from Variety: Warner Brothers is developing a Gremlins cartoon for the upcoming stream service. It's going to take place years before the first film. This is going to follow a much younger Mr. Wing along with Gizmo. The series is going to be produced by the WB and Amblin, who worked on the first 2 films. That's fun, man.
That sounds like fun, doesn't it?
It does. I absolutely remember Gremlins.
Well, in Mr. Wing, if you don't know, for yourself and anyone who listens, that's the old guy at the beginning of the first movie.
So awesome.
Which I'm sure probably most people presumed, but I mean, there's potential here.
There is.
Now, okay, so this is going to be on the WB streaming service, which, my God, how many streaming services are we going to have 5 years from now? I mean, seriously. It just makes it easier for me to steal on the internet. I didn't say that. Ian said that. But whoever said that, they're not wrong. Let me just say that part. But this has potential to be a lot of fun. I could definitely see if they made an animation that could bring kids into it, while at the same time be smart enough to have some maturity to it, to where the adults love it, because that's who's going to have this thing. The adults are going to want this. I mean, and they can bring the kids in to watch it then too. And then you can actually introduce us to a new generation, which I think is really smart. But if they go too kiddie with it, they're going to just lose the adult audience, I think.
Yeah.
So they've got to have some really. This has got to be a good balance. But otherwise, I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see some more footage or some actual footage and to get a trailer on this to see what it's going to be. I love the Gremlins. I mean, everybody loves Gremlins. But I mean, yeah, again, being a kid in the '80s, I think I was 7 when Gremlins came out. I mean, my God.
Oh man, I was just a little tyke when I was first checking out all this stuff. But that, I think, two of the things that really stick in my mind from that period. These, when I think along that line, it's Gremlins and Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. That's so bad, but I love that movie.
It's so bad, it's good. So bad, it's good. Yeah.
Now, in that case, I actually blame the fact that I was a child as to why I liked that. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't. No, but Gremlins are great. The second movie was not the best, but you still got a lot of what you wanted, even though you did get some things you didn't.
Right.
But this has the potential of really, I don't want to say rebooting, but refreshing this franchise for a new generation. And, I mean, there's always rumors about a third Gremlins movie. I think we've even talked about it at least on one occasion.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this could be the beginning of some actual solid foundation to bringing this franchise back. It's been, when did Gremlins 2 come out? 89? I want to say 89 or maybe 90.
I think 89. I'm going to double check that, though.
I mean, yes, it's been a while. That would be 30 years.
Whew. On the nose. Good time for an anniversary. You know, what was this we've been saying about anniversaries? The anniversary challenge. By the way,
what, that 10-year challenge thing?
Yeah, 10-year challenge. It's like we got movies today amping it up to 20, 30 years even. For context, by the way, the original Gremlins, 1984.
Gremlins 2, though, when did that come out?
Gremlins 2 was in. I've got that right here as well. That was
I won't forget. Yeah, I won't forget Gremlins. Oh, it was 90. Okay, I won't forget Gremlins 1. I saw that in the theaters. That was 1984. I was 7. Good stuff. That's a classic.
It is.
So do it right, WB. You're screwing up on DC. Just don't screw up on Gremlins.
Do it right, and if you have to, do it live. So.
Yep, that's right. I'll throw stuff at you.
This second one, come on, who can forget this series? Just a centerpiece of machismo. Rambo.
The centerpiece of
Rambo 5: Last Blood gets a release date. This is a report for THR that Lionsgate has finally announced the release for Rambo 5. It's going to hit theaters September 20th this year. This has been in production since the last film got pushed in 2008. This is going to follow John Rambo as he attempts to free a friend's daughter who got kidnapped by a Mexican drug cartel.
Of course.
It's got to be the cartel, man. Who else would it be, right?
I would not know the plot to this. I'd be like, Rambo 5, he's messing with a Mexican cartel, right? Did you see Rambo 4? I think you did not. You did.
Yeah, I did. I went back and
I think you saw that because I suggested it?
Yes.
Okay. Rambo 4 was great. It was just called Rambo.
Yep.
It is, and I think, and I told you this to you too. It has been heralded as one of the most realistically violent movies ever. When Rambo takes the 50 cal and points it at that guy in point blank shoot, dude, that's in my brain.
Crazy shot.
It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to this. Rambo even a little bit before me. The first Rambo came out, I think, in 79 or 80 or something. That it was actually much more of a film about what Vietnam vets are dealing with.
Right.
And right after that, you go into Rambo 2 and 3, it spawned into a, popcorn action flick series. 4 was not that, though. 4 was definitely more grounded. You left Rambo at the end of 4. He actually went home.
He did.
And I think that's where we're going to start with. But this is supposed to be the last one. Is he going to die?
Right.
Is he not? Who knows? But, yeah, I mean, this is coming out in the perfect time of year. I think in September that's perfect for it. I will definitely be seeing this. This is, again, talking about 80s nostalgia and stuff. This
right here.
This is right in my childhood.
This is, I mean, look, when you think of Sly, right up there with, his reprisals as Rocky, this is the other thing that pops right in my mind. In fact, it's in this order when I think of Sly. It's Rocky, Rambo, and then Judge Dredd. But
yeah, no, I would agree. Well, Rocky and Rambo for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know about Judge Dredd. But that was. I mean, I know he was in it, but it doesn't. Yeah, when I think Judge Dredd, I actually think about that movie that came about 6-7 years ago. That was good.
Fair enough. Fair. I didn't see that.
No, I know I recommended it to you at some point though.
Yeah. I'm slowly but surely making it through that list. So I take those down. But no, this will be fun. This is definitely one I want to go see as well. Especially with this being a send-off piece. Like you said, it's homework, but it's not. This is going to be fun. So.
Yeah, this is the homework I like.
Yeah.
So you got X-Men, which is can you imagine that? Where I'm saying the X-Men is the homework I don't like.
Yeah, I know. No, that's such a weird. Just to even be in a spot like that.
Just get it out of Fox's hand already. But yeah, I mean this is good. So I mean and I bet you it's if they get a really solid mix of like 80s and Rambo 4 out of this, it'll be a really good flick.
It will. Cool. The last thing you need, and this is just my totally nerdy wish list about this. The last thing you need is an ending shot with one of those good old like 80s freeze frames and just go to credits. Man, I love that.
There you go.
Good times.
Well, okay, so let me ask you, does Rambo live? This is, and it's been specifically noted that they're saying this is Sylvester Stallone's last time.
True.
And he co-wrote this, and I know he's helped produce, if not produced, a bunch of them. And I think he's wrote, in some capacity, he's written all of them.
I'm gonna get on the bandwagon that he does. And I only say that because I was literally knife edge on saying up front, he dies. Well, Drago style. If he dies. No, but the only reason I say that is Stallone. It just seems to be his pattern, his style with some of this, especially when like he co-writes and he has a lot of weight on it. In Rocky, I think he did it well. This idea of legacy, of passing the torch. It was easier for him to sort of move out of that role and give the spotlight to someone else, give the spotlight to a new generation of fighters. So the only reason why I say that I don't think he's going to die here, though, is because keeping that icon status within that world. It's the same thing in the Rocky movies. He didn't, he's still there. Like, he's still actively, helping train, imparting advice and stuff like that. In Rambo, though, even with him, starting from home here and stuff, I don't see him as being dead. Maybe to the point where, I can't do this anymore, period. Maybe really injured. But, dude, it's Stallone. He's gonna get the job done. So
it's tough, but at the end of the day, I have to disagree. I have to say Rambo fucking dies.
Fair. Oh, that's fair.
Rambo dies. There's a larger narrative going on here, albeit it could easily be lost because 2 and 3 were very, very popcorny action flicks. So, but there's a larger narrative that's being said in 1 and 4 about Rambo and the life that he's had to live, and I think ultimately you will find that he will have to pay his price for embracing being such a violent person.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
I think that'll be the larger narrative. That he'll have to give up his life in order to do something good.
Mm-hmm. Which would be a good note to go out on.
Yeah,
I could see it. See it.
Well, one of us is going to be right, and one of us is going to be wrong.
Yep. Tune in to find out.
That's right. September.
Yeah, we'll see. So, I think it would be. I'll say this though, it would be refreshing if your take on that is right, because I think that would show, I think, less of the ego and more of that altruistic element coming out. I wonder I wonder if Stallone can get out of the way enough for that to happen. I wonder.
I think he can for this one. I think and also because he's kind of making that decision now with not with Rocky, but with the Creed movies.
True.
In fact, there was an interview where he had said that he thought Rocky was done with Rocky Balboa. He thought that there wasn't going to be more. I think he can for this, and I think it fits the larger narrative because Rocky, the first Rambo was all about the kind of monster that had been created,
right?
And in the way that he gets treated when he comes home, and the misconceptions and the bias that people had at the time for Vietnam vets, and veterans in general. But at some point, and I'd have to say in 4, he has to take that turn, and he has to decide that I'm going to have to kick some ass.
Right.
I'm going to have to keep doing this. I mean, he moves to wherever that was. I forget where it was, but he moved away from everything to get away from that.
Right.
And I think they'll try to take a larger narrative here, bigger than the character, to tell a narrative for that. Or not, or maybe they decide to go the whole the whole Rambo 2-3 route and just make it a giant popcorn action flick,
sure.
And he's going to grab a bazooka in one hand and a subgun in the other and shoot everybody up. It's no more war.
There you go.
And just so I guess we'll see, because I haven't seen any. There's been a couple images that have come out, but there's no trailer yet or anything, so. I don't know.
Cool. No, well said. Well said. I think there's some, good expectations and stuff on the board. So, yeah, man, right in the childhood feels. So,
yeah.
I dig. Spinning on over into gaming, I'm gonna hand the mic to you first on this one.
Yeah.
This is my God. Okay. So we've been talking about the Walking Dead from Overkil. The game series, and one hand.
It's come up a couple times.
Yeah, we thought it was, gone, and maybe someone will pick it up. Maybe they won't. It got picked up. We're saying, all right, thank
you. Oh no, don't get this confused with Telltale.
Okay, my bad. I am getting that.
You're getting a little confused with Telltale, which is important at the end of this to see the contrast of what's happening. Now, Overkill's The Walking Dead is a first-person shooter, I guess, for lack of a better term, first-person game that has been in production for a few years now. By Starbreeze Studios, Skybound, which was started by Robert Kirkman, who created The Walking Dead, along with someone else, created Skybound Studios as a company to manage and help license out The Walking Dead name. All right, it's important to establish that. Starbreeze, which I believe, it's a European company. I can't remember which country. They started working on this first-person shooter years ago. Mm-hmm. And it finally came out. You started seeing some trailers and stuff at the end of 2017 and in 2018, and then finally at E3 we got some game footage, which there had been, I think, a long time before. Didn't look good at all. The first footage that people had seen of the game, I believe, was more of it's in early production. This was not early production. What we saw last year at E3, in fact, it was just months before the game was released. I know we had talked about it a couple times. Jason and I had talked about it extensively as far as doing some Let's Play, because it is a 4-person co-op. It's mission based. Scenario based is a better way to go. It's shit.
Yeah.
It looked like shit. The trailers looked great, but it looked like shit. It looked very dated. It just didn't look like there was much going into this at all. It came out in, I think, this late November, early December. It tanked. It tanked big time. I mean, as much as we, and I say Jason and I, really wanted this to be a great game, it was obvious it was not.
Yeah.
Okay. So, establish that to tell you this. So, since then, Starbreeze Studios has filed for bankruptcy.
Oof.
They're having big time trouble. I probably, like many gaming companies in this situation, they've got a big time name coming out. Hopefully it'll save them. It did not, because the game was garbage, and the console versions have been indefinitely postponed. They've now been canceled altogether. Sony put out a message through PlayStation recently, refunding people for all the pre-orders. Skybound has come out in the last week and basically said, look, and I don't have the whole thing here, but let me quote what they said. We did our best to work with Starbreeze and resolve many issues that we saw with the game. You gotta be careful here, Ian. I'm reading now.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, we've established this is not good.
You can't do that. So
that's canon. That's right. But ultimately, Overkill's The Walking Dead did not meet our standards, nor is it the quality that we have promised. Skybound said, "We are exceedingly sorry to the fans and share in their disappointment in the game." Have you ever heard anybody come out like this before?
No, or at least rarely. That I'm trying to think off the top of my head. That
I mean, they're
straight up honest.
Right. They're like, look, this was shit, and we're sorry this was so shitty. You know, you're not getting your console versions. This game isn't getting fixed like it should. It should never have gone out like this. And so they pulled the plug. They've canceled their contract with Starbreeze. They're like, we're done. Over. This is done. And with that, ultimately has killed this game. And there will be no coming back for this game. There will be no rising from the dead.
Ouch.
Yeah, Overkill's The Walking Dead is done. Starbreeze is in bankruptcy. Skybound was like, Now I'll talk about Telltale because, again, in contrast, you have Skybound who, when Telltale was starting to shit, Skybound was like, let me try to find somebody who can finish this for us. Because there was the 2 episodes yet to come out, which the 3rd one now has, and the 4th one's yet to. So, I mean, you have a contrast of what this company is willing to do for its fans.
Right.
In one case, you have a product that they just will not defend, so they just cancel it. They cut it out. They cut the legs out right from under it. In the other case, you have Telltale, where they're ending the series anyways, and they're not going to let that end with just 2 episodes not being finished. So like, look, let's see what we can do to try to get this going. So good on Skybound, making good decisions for their fan base, for the Walking Dead fan base. I wish they would do some of that with the TV show.
Hint, nudge, wink.
No, that's not been so great as of late. Actually, the shows have been good, but it's been hit hard. All right, just to get a little bit more into this. So I believe it's still up on Steam right now, but it'll be coming off of Steam. You're not going to be able to buy the game anymore. That's the whole thing. There's been a lawsuit, I think, that's been filed. And Starbreeze, Starbreeze just decided, well, shit, I'm just going to spill the guts here on this. Starbreeze said that Overkil only made $3.6 million in sales during the final quarter of 2018 when it was released. And this is a quote, cost related to development of Overkill's The Walking Dead has so far exceeded revenue. No shit. Because you only made $3.6 million.
We can tell.
Yeah, it's Starbreeze, I'm sure, were well aware of the product they were putting out and well aware of their financial troubles that they were having, and thought to themselves, well, it'll just sell because of the name. Shit doesn't work like that so much anymore. It's really hard to pull that off nowadays. That's been tried a couple times now in the last few years, and it just doesn't work. Battlefront 2, perfect example. Now, different example, because that did make a lot of money. Nowhere near what they expected, though.
No.
And, I'm sorry, Star Wars ain't going to be able to pull that off. The Walking Dead is not going to be able to pull that off, as much as I love my Walking Dead.
This is...
But...
sorry, I have to make... really sorry, I want to make a quick comment. This is like a reverse Final Fantasy situation. And I say that because I'm thinking back to early on when, right at the beginning of FF, when Square was about to go bankrupt, and they put all their eggs in the basket for Final Fantasy and basically just said, hey, it's going to be our last game. Thanks everybody. And
when was that?
Final Fantasy 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're going way back.
Yeah, that's that story behind it. That was a Hail Mary game. Like, that was part of why it was named Final Fantasy. They knew things were looking bad. They were not in a good financial situation, and they put all the marbles on the table, and, well, look at today. So, That's
yeah,
why
look at today. Yay. let's look back 20 years ago. Yay!
Hey, oh man, no. Whatever. Hey, I got FF14, so
No, the point is they were able to come back and they turned into a giant monster of a company.
exactly.
Yeah. No, screw Starbreeze.
Yeah.
I really wanted this game to be great. I was very hopeful about this, but it was obvious when you started seeing gameplay of it. I remember when we were talking about it at E3, and I think you had finally found some. And I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah, it's looking ugly, man.
what the? This is it? This is what you got?" I was like, "Yeah." There was some huge potential. I mean, and for those of us who knew about this game and were hopeful of it, because there was some huge potential here, and the concepts for this game specifically, as far as its scenarios and its co-op play, there was a lot here that could have been great. But it's so bad. I've never heard of that before, especially because, I mean, when you have licensed named games, they're usually shit anyways.
Normally, yeah.
But they normally just ride that. They're just like, whatever. No, but Skybound was like, nah, no, yoink. This is so bad, we don't even want to be related to this. We're going to try to erase this game. To make sure it doesn't happen anymore. We're pulling it off the shelves.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Man, rough, dude. But hey, look, I at least applaud the honesty to get to the point of just saying, look, this isn't just like it's not up to snuff. Don't want the association with this, done. And just being that takes a lot. I think just to be honest enough to say that, not just to your company, not just to who you're developing with, but your fans. That's only happened, to my knowledge, one other time in recent memory. Golly, it was a smaller studio that was scrapped. This was like 40 Jagged Edges or so back. I'm not pulling it.
Is that the timeline by Jagged Edge?
By Jagged Edge, yeah. What are we gonna call this? Like 400 JE, 400 Jagged Edge, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But no, this is rare. This is really rare. You made, I think, some important comments about the arrogance of some large studios to be at a point like that. And hey, let's take a comparison. I was just talking about it. The stuff with Square, or Squeenix, say now. I am still just blown away that they have not leveled with fans about Remake. I mean,
oh boy, here we go.
I'll make this short. Yeah,
you might, but I might not let you.
You might. We know that a few things that announced too early, quote unquote. There's more we want to do with that. There's Kingdom Hearts has to be done first. There's the rest of the stuff. But look, besides development going along smoothly and stuff like that, it is public knowledge the stuff about the dump of CyberConnect. Obviously that impacted development cycles, but they completely just breeze past that. It's pretty. It's quite a comparison to this story. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Better move on.
Yeah. It's like you're getting your bib on.
As soon as you said that, I got out my fork and my knife, and I was ready to dig in.
I'm gonna move right on to something that we're both gonna enjoy talking about. There's a big leak that has just dropped for Mortal Kombat 11, and that is for the roster. For extra characters we can expect to see. This leak happened on Reddit. I believe that was...
Of course it did.
Like everything, right?
Reddit and 4chan that's where all the dirt comes from.
Believe it was Anon MK11, but I know that all this got saved. The leak itself immediately got archived and stuff. I'm pretty sure a lot of stuff with the user account's already gone.
Can I just make a comment about that real quick? Because this is part of what I love about the internet. Because the internet allows a person to do this, leak something like this. But then there's other people who are like, I gotta save all this. And that gets to do his thing too.
Yep.
I love it. That's part of what I love about the internet. Thank you, internet, for giving people an outlet for being dirty bastards, and then other people taking pictures of people being dirty bastards. So.
There seems to be this. I still laugh about this. There's always this push, especially when there's something that obviously wasn't supposed to be out, and you'll see it immediately yanked or pulled. Then someone will just go and post it up again. You know,
and you can't blame them at that point.
No, you can't.
I found this. I didn't do it.
Look what I got. So it's hilarious, and I guess to me it's funny. It's hilarious in both ends. One, that I always chuckle when it's deleted because I'm like, what do you think that's going to do? That's not going to help you. You may as well just leave it. And second, just literally getting a stopwatch out and saying, all right, how long is it going to take for somebody to pull that back up?
Yep. Because, look, in all honesty, it's one thing if you murdered a guy. That's horrible. But the guy who recorded you, I like video camered instead. Yeah. The guy who video camered you killing a guy isn't as bad as the guy who killed a guy. Yeah. So what are you going to do? Okay, now back to what matters here. Now, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, which if you're listening to this, you probably know. If not, hey, I am a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I've been contemplating for a while, ever since NetherRealm did not release or did not announce Mortal Kombat 11 when they normally would have, late or mid last year, early mid last year. Why? Why are they? Because they'd established this whole thing for years now, when they will announce a game and such. This one they waited until just months before,
right?
And part of me has wondered, is this why? Because they knew stuff was going to be leaked. Because they knew that things weren't as tight in their development studio as it should be to hold these kind of. I mean, this is a huge leak.
That's a big deal, and it's a pretty legit looking one too. Yeah.
Right. This is pretty legit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it. So, but I mean, and what bothers me about this is because the MKX rollout was so much fun.
Right.
And it took them over a year to do it. It was a lot of fun. It was really exciting. This is ruined. And I wonder if part of that's because they just knew they weren't going to be able to keep this a secret.
Right.
And instead of trying to play, let's release a character every month or every couple months and have it go over a year, it's like, look, we'll do this in 4 months. It's going to come out anyway, so we don't have to play this whole game.
Right.
And I wonder how they're going to go forward with the combat cast and such now. This is out. Your roster, unless they decide to change things.
Sure.
And, which I seriously doubt. I mean, they might be able to switch around some hidden characters and such, whatever. Some DLC. I doubt it. Your roster's out. Your big, your big thing's out here. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, man. No, I hear you?
Keep going.
Yeah, no. Continue.
Okay. All right. So let's go through the roster.
Yeah. Hey, here we go. So, as far as what we've got, I mean, of course, you've got the ones you knew about. We've seen it on Scorpion, Sub-Zero. I almost want to be saying this in the old school MK voice, from the movies, but I'm not even going to try because that was too epic, and I can't do it anyway.
Don't do that.
Sub-Zero, Raiden. Raiden. Dang it. Raiden, Sonya Blade, Baraka, Garrus.
Garrus. That's one of the new ones. That's the first brand new announced character.
Yeah. Garrus, Scarlet, Kano, Cabal.
Don't try it. Don't try it. You're going into that mode. Don't.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it sounds like you're gonna start switching into Mortal Kombat.
I won't. I promise.
Okay.
I promise not going there.
Don't do it.
Cabal, Devora.
Yeah.
Another one I no idea
That's from
about.
The last game.
Okay. Jane and Johnny Cage.
What's Jane? I don't know who this Jane is.
Jane.
Did I miss that?
I'm just going by your list. Could be.
Okay, I'll have to double check that. All right, well, go ahead and keep going.
Sure. And as for some of the unannounced returning characters, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Cassie Cage, and Frost. Also, we've got Jackie Briggs, Kotal Khan, Aaron Black, Katana, Noob Saibot, Jax Briggs, Chinook, Melina, who's an unlockable, Shang Tsung, who's also an unlockable, and Shao Kahn pre-order DLC.
Yeah, but that's not all.
Not all. But wait, there's more for $12.99. No. The unannounced new characters we get. And we were just talking a bit about these beforehand. I was trying to see if we had any clues in Mortal Kombat mythology and stuff.
Not really.
We don't. There's the Collector, of course, with the K. No, not the MCU Collector. We don't know. Brand new, no idea.
Yeah, brand new character.
And Cetrion?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Very blue. That's all I can say about this character. So we've got there's images to these everywhere. I mean, came with the leak. I think the most important image I'm pulling from this too is the actual shot of the character select screen.
Yeah. Well, and
has all these...
I think together all these images are important because they help to legitimize each other as far as it being a legitimate leak. It all looks pretty legit. Yeah. So you've got 28 characters announced here. I believe the character select screen has for 34 spots.
Right.
But they've already announced that there's 6 DLC characters coming. So that would be those other 6 spots.
Got it.
So that's pretty legit.
It is. I think I'm comparing this to leaks, at least in quotes, that we saw months ago, like 3 or 4 months ago. I know there was a similar one that, and actually, play-by-play, this is pretty accurate to that. The only one I'm not seeing here that I'm kind of curious about, there was one that talked about the Oracle that was from Jade's ending originally.
Oh, that's Chronica.
Yeah.
Maybe. It was probably Chronica.
Okay.
So so this tells you a couple things. If this is a legit roster, you don't have Smoke.
Right.
You don't have Sindel. A lot of people asking for both of them. No Rain. A lot of people Rain. No Cyber Ninjas. And this, I think now this being the third game in this alternate timeline, they've really, if this is true, and again, we're not looking at DLC characters, but this really does cement the fact that NetherRealm is moving away from a lot of the latter end new characters that they put in with 5, 6, and 7.
Right.
They're really moving away from that. I think we saw a couple of those characters in 10, Boraicho and Fujin, but and there was a couple others that made some guest appearances. They're really moving away from them, though, and most of them weren't great characters.
Right.
But some of them were. But this is actually, in some ways, it's a good roster overall, but it's kind of disappointing that this seems like the first game since they've altered the timeline. So actually you have 10, now 11, because 10 was all classic characters.
Right.
Or 9 was. 9 was all classic characters because that was the reboot. You don't see a lot. In fact, this is the most modest roster I've seen. You don't see a lot of chances being taken.
Right. It's pretty reserved.
Yeah, it's a lot of the who's who, but not a lot of chances taken on this. So that's a little disappointing. But I mean, it's still a good roster.
Right.
Good roster. It's going to be a lot of fun. All my favorites are in there except for one guy.
You're missing your cop, man.
No Striker. Striker's so good. Whatever, people. Whatever. Give us a like if you like Striker. He's great. In fact, if you don't like Striker, give us a dislike. Just dislike it. Just dislike it if you don't like Striker. You don't get to listen anymore. So.
And on top of that, you get a dirty look from Striker, like back from the character select.
That's right. I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun, and sure, who knows what those 6 DLC characters are. Plus, there are skins, and skins are a new thing where that's going to actually give you an alternate character. It's going to have the same skill set and such as a character, but there's skins coming as well.
There you go.
Now you've been eyeing this game, Ian.
Oh yeah.
And so, what does this roster do for you?
You know, as somebody who, I could not escape the early 90s, hysteria of MK, who played those original, stuff on the old school consoles, Super Nintendo and stuff like that. Hey, man, I've never had that deep investment. I'm cool with this list. I can't say there's anyone that I was just saying, oh my god, I hope, X and X is on this list. Cool. Look, for me, I'm not hard to impress for an MK guy. Honestly, if you gave me the basics, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, etc., maybe a couple extras, that's already enough for me. Even half this list.
And that right there is why I think they've made a decision that they have with the roster.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad decision.
Right.
I would have liked to have seen a couple other characters that were kind of in the latter end of the original timeline, and Nitara.
Sure.
A couple others. Just don't ignore the fact that happened. And I understand it's an alternate timeline, but still, some of these characters have shown up.
Right.
There's Frost. I think Frost is the only one. Looking at this roster here. Scarlet came with a reboot. She came with 9. So excluding new characters from 9 and 10, I think Frost is it.
Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd be cool with that. I'm really curious to mechanically how all of these will play, how everything's going to feel. I know lately with we've had a pretty good track record with some of the 2D fighters that have come out as far as giving unique placement to everybody on the roster. Even when you don't have a huge list of specials, Dragon Ball Fighters comes to mind. You don't have to memorize necessarily ridiculous playbook for each character, but like everybody has a unique feel at least, and everybody plays to their strengths real well. Guilty Gear is another great example. Smaller roster than that, but still really, really solid gameplay. So when you're thinking along the lines of MK, Injustice, stuff like that, frankly, I'm glad to see MK come back and reclaim this. It always felt kind of odd to see Injustice have that spot, but this is already primed up for Combo Breaker for upcoming stuff. I'm sure we're gonna see it at Evo and all of it. So I can't wait to start seeing who emerges and who are gonna be some of the big characters running in this. So should be awesome.
Oh yeah, no, the game looks good.
Yep. So
but real quick, the reveal they did this week of Johnny Cage.
Oh, that was awesome. In fact, you were telling me that you might just run Johnny Cage out of principle.
I might. That was my original main. So, and he's just so much fun in there. And he's looking good. It looks great.
I think if you guys have not seen that trailer yet, do yourself a favor, go check it out. I'm still dead with the action figure, and golly, that was so good. Also, the constant retakes for his fatality.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's so good because it's a direct callback to the glitch in the original MK. Mm-hmm. So just really fun stuff. Having a
did
ball
you notice
that.
him flip off the camera at the end?
Yeah, I did.
Johnny Cage, I swear, is my spirit animal.
Johnny Cage. Oh man, dude, if you could walk around with an action figure yourself going pew pew, you probably would.
just randomly like put it on a table or a desk. Like, who is this guy?
Oh man, yeah, a lot of flavor here. But no, this is really a surprise. But again, this is something that I think is hard for especially fighting games to avoid these days. I want to tell you a really funny one in the 2D space too that happened a couple months ago with Dragon Ball. Dude, this was on basically the live stream. It's hilarious. So they were having it was like the end of the World Tour Series tournament, and they were going to be doing new DLC and character announcements at the end of it. And actually, this was just a corporate screw up. Namco Bandai Europe did release some stuff too early, and they immediately tried to take it down. But thank the internet, they're not going to let that go. So you just see the chat going crazy, starting to talk about like the new characters already, and like we're still in like the semifinals or whatever. And sure enough, people start putting up links, for the special, and it was all accurate. It was 100% because not even like an hour later we saw the trailer and there's everything. So this is a difficult thing to, I think, fully dodge and avoid in this kind of space because people want this so bad. And just as a fan of fighting games, just put into perspective part of why I think the hype goes in this and why people, when they hear one of their favorite IPs coming back, wanting to know that roster up front. Besides a guy that's, slapping his hand down on the table saying, that's going to be my main. That's who I'm going to main. A lot of people like to get that kind of info up front to see, am I interested in picking this up? Do I want to invest in it? Does it have character that I really enjoyed? If it does, can I go back and, start warming up, kind of maybe play a previous game, get into it? There's so much. I think even if you're a tournament player, if you play on the professional level, obviously there's a whole different set of concerns you're going to be looking at. If you're more of just, I love fighting games, I love to check this stuff out. Still, that foreknowledge is a really, really fun thing. Play with it. It builds to the hype factor. It builds into your later investment for it. So It's tough. Companies want to keep a lid on this stuff, but fans want it so bad that cat gets out the bag times.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. What can
Like
you
a
say?
spider monkey comes out swinging.
Yeah. So it'd be wild if there's any of this that if we're proven wrong in anything, if there's some differences and stuff like that, be all for it. But
This is I would.
I doubt it, honestly.
I honestly think that if anything does get changed, it's not going to be because of this leak. It's because they had ideas of changing some things.
Definitely.
I think this is it, though. This seems legit. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm some professional or anything like that, but I've been working in digital arts for long enough. You can spot a fake pretty easily, and if this is a fake, holy cow! Give these people an award.
The most elaborate.
The amount of work and effort they put into to make it look this real. This looks pretty real.
Yeah.
So otherwise, like I said, we wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't 99% chance this was legit. So, okay,
cool. That's what we got there with MK.
Get Striker in there.
Get Striker. Before I get to the rest, on a quick party note with this, the last time I saw a leak throw everybody nuts was for what everyone thought was going to be Marvel vs. Capcom 4. But someone did a Photoshop like a logo, like, with the NBC style and like just the 4, and it was like just the one image with the poster. Everybody went nuts, the SRK forums, everybody started posting, but people caught on to that one pretty fast. That didn't gain any traction, but yeah. So big stuff. It's always a big deal when it comes to the fighting game world with all this. All right. We can't leave gaming, though, without talking about a couple of other key things, and moreover, a key gaming event, one of the biggest, meanest gaming cons of the year. That's PAX East on the way. I love attending it. I'm going to be going this year again too. We got the schedule released this week. Oh my gosh, so many awesome panels and stuff to see. But there's one thing specifically. This does have to do with fighting games. That I'm definitely going to go check out. This reminded me of the last time when I got a chance to play Soul Calibur before that was
you were supposed to steal those swords. I remember that.
Yeah, you wanted me to steal a Soul Edge and steal
Soul Calibur.
Yeah, steal Soul Calibur and steal...
I told you could have Soul Calibur. I just wanted Soul Edge.
Yeah, that's right. You're like, you take that one. I'll get that one.
Those props looked awesome.
They did. Namco had an awesome booth last year for Soul Calibur, and it was a cool chance to sit down and actually get hands-on and just do a bit of really early verses. So, but yeah, hey, similar deals going on, but with an IP that came out of nowhere. This goes back to my Blockbuster Video days when I was just getting into PS1. That's Samurai Showdown 2019, also known as Samurai Spirits. We know this is coming out early summer. We don't have an exact release date for it yet, but they have announced that they have specific reveals planned for PAX East specifically. A playable version is going to be there. I am so there. The gameplay is T-style, just like the old games were. Obviously, got the whole modern cut and modern update. If you play fighting games, I think this is one of the best eras for it, period. I can't point to another time where you've had this sort of resurgence like it, or just everything getting these updates. Anything from MK, going all the way to older stuff to bringing brand new IPs to the table. It's awesome. Really excited. In fact, this really surprised me. This has got so much traction. This is already lined up for EVO this year, and I normally expect something like this to have a bit more of a waiting period before appearing on the EVO roster. But there you go. Super fun game. I think back to this is where I first found out about Haomaru. So when I played games like Capcom vs SNK 2, I knew who to go to, from the SNK side. But man, you want to talk about weapon-based 2D combat? This was, for me at least, this was my 2D equivalent of Soul Calibur / Soul Edge. So I say all that, but yet I never got quite into it as much as I did like the Capcom, classic crossover 2D fighters or Tekken, stuff like that. But always fun to play with friends and stuff. And this just continues, man. Look, SNK, they're on a roll. They got King of Fighters 15 that's lined up for 2020. Hey, I'm gonna hold out hope against hope. I would love that maybe there's still some chance of a Capcom versus SNK 3 someday. Capcom could really use it after the blotch of the Marvel versus Capcom crossover we had that Infinity just didn't go well. So something like that would be really cool to see. But anyway, SNK, well done. It seems that their last couple of releases have really been on point. I hope KOF 15 is great too, and I can't wait to play this. So I will tell you all about it when I get back. Other than that, on a worse note, something I am not going to be checking out that got not just a release, but probably the most expensive season pass I've ever seen for a fighting game, Dead or Alive 6. It's out, and look, this was specifically billed as, all right, we're backing off the the hypersexual stuff a bit. We're trying to get more grounded, into the whole combat element of it, and then yet we get a season pass that's just about $100. It's $93 with alternate costumes, and I think Mai Shiranui from Fatal Fury, and some stuff like that. Like, if you break it all down, like each costume you get and all that stuff, okay, but look. DOA comes from a series of very expensive extras, DLCs. In fact, so many DLCs that you'll probably just drown in a river of DLC. Just go look at Steam sometime. You don't believe it. Go look at Steam, go look under Dead or Alive 5, and you will be blown away with the amount of downloadable stuff there is for that. It's ridiculous. But I just thought this case was just crazy to look at. Not only do you pay like $60 for a game, but then you pay just about another $100 for the season pass. You can't even slice that up a bit if you only want a bit of it. So, unbelievable. But definitely a fighting game I'm not going to be touching. I just never, I've never been to Dead or Alive. DOA 5 was free on Steam. I'm like, all right, why not? Like, I gave that a shot, but I don't know, man. It's just not really my jam. So,
I'm surprised this franchise still exists.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be done back when DOA, was it Beach Volleyball came out?
Yeah.
I thought that was the end of it. I'm just like, all right, they've just gone to cheesecake with this. That's it. So
I mean, I'm looking at the official PlayStation launch trailer for Dead or Alive 6.
Right.
And if right away it says mature 17 plus for blood, language, violence, and sexual themes.
Oh,
so. All right, so yeah, they didn't really tone down on the sexual nature, did they?
No.
That's got to be your warning in the trailer. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't understand why. I don't understand why is this game still going. Now this did just drop yesterday, but it's got 40,000 views.
Right. The one thing, here's one thing.
That's horrible.
It is. Being objective, here's one thing I do hear about DOA, especially 6, when I'm hearing about the parry system. Apparently, it's there's sort of like a block and counter and like a parry system where if you time right, you can like catch certain like punches and kicks, and then like go back in with your own like focus attacks and stuff. Apparently, that's cool when you get like a juggling match, going with that. I can't comment because I really don't know the mechanic and haven't played a lot with it, but yeah. So who knows? I'm gonna keep an eye on this from a distance to see where sales actually end up at, just out of curiosity. Yeah. Other than that, off the fighting game track, looking very briefly here at the Blizzard track. This isn't involving Blizzard itself. Lately, we've been talking a lot about the layoffs, things like that. But this is something I'd say is just as important as Blizzard themselves. This is the community. One of the biggest Diablo fan sites, DiabloFans.com. Look, anybody here, if you're familiar with good old D2.
I need to interrupt you.
You interrupt this program for a special Chris announcement.
I'm interrupting because it's been bugging me ever since you said it. Because I had the name Jane in the Mortal Kombat list.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the hell is that from? It's a misspelling. It's supposed to be Jade.
Jade. Thank you.
Jade. The whole time, and I just got it fixed now. Okay, that's Jade. Sorry, people.
Wow.
All right.
No, good. No, glad. I'm actually glad you walked back over that. So,
all right.
Cool. For the closures we got here, this one stunned me. I've visited Diablo fans since my days of playing Lord of Destruction, trying to make rune words and stuff for my Zealadin. But yeah, as of March 21st, DiabloFans.com is officially going into archive mode. They've already posted a little news story in this, just basically the farewell, just saying, peace out to the community and everything like that. But I want to take this in context. So I'm going to read a little bit from this, just to quote. It is with great sadness that I must announce the closure of Diablo Fans. Our site has been a pillar of the Diablo community for many years, but due to the fading interest in current Diablo products and business realities for Curse, it's time for Diablo fans to say farewell. On March 21st, we're transitioning into archive mode. Users will still be able to view content on the site while it's archived, but will be unable to create or edit any existing builds or post on the site. So, look, there's going to be a few things around, like D3 Planner. I know there's like the Diablo subreddit. Of course, there's a Reddit for everything, and the most basic stuff you have in the Diablo wiki, that'll be around. But this is a really big deal. This was not only a site that I would first for Diablo news back when, that always stayed up to date through everything, even the stuff with D3 and Reaper of Souls. But that's I think kept an ongoing legacy project with a really solid core base, better than a lot of other more silent communities I've seen. I'll even go as far as to say what they did here is something that I didn't even see done with Armored Core, stuff like that. So it just sucks. This hits me as much as it would an actual part of like a Blizzard Studios shutting down. I mean, yeah, the fans themselves are like still there, but it's I guess it's not to have this kind of hub point anymore. It's a real sign, and I am concerned for Blizzard stuff down the road. Even if Diablo 4 is something in the mix. So
yeah, fuck them. Not Diablo, no, not Diablo fans. That's awesome. They've been such a huge source. When we were talking about this before the show, I'm like, gosh, I can't remember them specifically, but I know I've been there.
Right.
I was just taking a look here a minute ago. Screw Blizzard. That's where I'm at with it. I mean, could they come around from what they've done? They could, but we've talked about this ever since their garbage last year. It is what it is. This is going to happen. I guess I'm over it. I mean, and I was a monthly subscriber for WoW for 7 years. I love Diablo. My first the first computer game I had on my own PC was Diablo.
Wow.
I mean, but this is going to happen. Yeah, and quite honestly, anyone who hasn't had this in the back of their head ever since Activision bought them out, I mean, you were kidding yourself.
Right.
This has been in the cards ever since, and here we are. And it's going to happen. Companies are going to come and go. I'm and we've been talking about this a lot lately, both on the show and off the show. There are companies that I trust. There are developers that I trust. The list is smaller than it used to be, but I think the days of following a company should be over.
Mm-hmm.
Quite honestly, I question whether or not decisions should be made on which console to get by their exclusive titles.
Right.
Companies, they're companies. They're not people. They do stupid things, and I don't know. For me, it's just kind of like, yeah, well, you know what, Blizzard? Yeah, I think they've been riding on the good faith of their fans for a while.
Right. Right.
Screw them. I'm not crying over Blizzard.
Right.
And if I had, I'd cried over them a long time ago. And I think for me, part of it is I had made the decision a long time ago to step away.
Right.
So, and I've still played some Diablo from time to time, but and they're going to have an opportunity to try to make a comeback with Diablo 4 if and when they ever decide to release it. And I will play their phone game if it's free. If not, go back to my initial statement. Fuck them. I guess that's just where I'm at with it anymore. I don't. It's a scarecrow. It's a straw man.
Right.
Is what Diablo is now. So, yeah. Sorry.
Tough stuff. But hey, you guys, anybody listening, if you were ever a fan of Diablo fans or made any of the visits there, or if you remember the days of bot spamming stuff for D2 JSP and all that, hey, post down in the comments below. I'd love to hear if you got any kind of stories about it or whatever else. But other than that, that brings us to the end of our gaming roundup. It's time for an info minute. Chris, do you have any tattoos, or do you ever plan to get one?
I do not have any tattoos. I was always of the opinion that I'm sure I will get probably a couple of them throughout my life,
Sure.
if said significance was needed or desired.
Right.
So maybe in the future,
Like if you had a family passing or something like that, or a
big old tattoo says "mom" on it.
Mom with the heart and the arrows. Yeah,
I'm sure I'll get a tattoo of Bandy at some point.
That'd be metal.
Let's get kitty.
Yeah, it's like those big 7-foot guys that he's afraid of, and at the truck stop, and they have like a little kitty tattoo or something.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I don't have any either. I got some family members that do, and like my aunt, and like a few others. I gotta say though, it's an art form that's always amazed me. That I think, one, for the really, really intricate tattoos that people could sit there that long and have those done, sometimes really, really sensitive. Two, that to keep the hand steady that long to draw a mural on someone. Some of it's crazy. It's really nuts.
It is.
But a part of this too, when I look at these, historically, as I look back, it's like, all right, look, like tattoos are a super old art form. I mean, well before modern where we're at now. But we don't always talk a whole lot out here in North America when they started, or at least what some of the early evidence we have for them. But there's a really cool discovery. Just went down recently. It was right at smack dab at the end of February. This was a Washington State University researcher. He discovered the oldest tattoo tool in Western North America. This tool was made about 2,000 years ago by the ancestral Pueblo people. The period was about, for those of you who are history buffs out there, I didn't even know this one, the Basket Maker 2 period in what is now over in southeastern Utah. So there have been a couple anthropology PhD candidates that have been diving into this and exactly why it's a big deal and why discovery is important. Really, it actually pushes back the earliest evidence that tattooing done in Western North America by more than a millennium. And if anything, it gives those who are looking at this, and scientists and stuff, a look at prehistoric people that use these kind of customs and tattoos and all that stuff. Let me get you an image, Chris.
Okay.
You want to see it? Because in fact, this is a kind of crappy image. Let me get you a better one. Because I always hate talking about it, you not having a basis for it.
Pictures are good.
There you go. Pass that to you. So, I mean, if anything, the best way I could describe this would be 2 chopsticks in a larger stick wrapped in rope. Yes, I'm terrible with the stuff. But
that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I figured it was going to look like.
Yeah. But if anything, other important stuff about this is like the residue that was still remaining on it. It's still got kind of like the crystalline structure. Scientists take this stuff. They date that all the way back, especially if it contains stuff like carbon elements. They're able to go all the way back and find other matching elements or other common things in it, and to bring up other cool factors you might have that emerged around that period. So just something I had no idea that was actually going on, and that somebody had dug up. So pretty fun.
Yeah, no, that's neat. So that was that was Native American tools, I take it. Mm-hmm. Had to have been.
Yep.
Cool. I want to see what they did.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
No pictures, though, I guess.
No, none of that. I mean, if only someone had HD images back then, or
Yeah, you could draw.
yeah. Could somebody upload that? No. Good. So, but yeah,
Cool.
yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff always comes up. But hey, let us know in the comments. You guys found anything crazy this week? If you enjoyed the show here, if you didn't, or if you like, hey, remember, give us a dislike if you don't like Stryker. I'm totally standing behind that.
No. No. Striker's awesome.
Just messing.
Police brutality.
That's basically what he is.
No, so he says it. He even says it all the time.
Love it. But no, hey, look, we thank you all for joining us and for tuning in again this week. Of course, hey, look, every like, sub, all that stuff goes a long way. Helps us keep doing what we enjoy doing. And of course, if you hit that notification, you're going to know when we release our latest reviews, when we got our podcast up, and also when we're continuing on with our Let's Plays, all that good stuff. But until next time, you guys take it easy. Have a good one. We'll catch you again. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, or anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but if great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.